YouTube connected. Listwithelizabeth.com. Status connected. Facebook Live connected. Rumble connected. Twitter X connected. LinkedIn connected. This is the booth. We are cleared to go live. Send the signal to the studio and go live.
List with Elizabeth show, ready to go live in 3, 2.
When you think selling and buying a home,
when I think real estate, I think List with Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Kline.
Elizabeth Ann Kline.
And here's the host of the List with Elizabeth show, Elizabeth Kline.
Hello out there. How's everyone doing? I am Elizabeth Ann Kline, host of the List with Elizabeth show. Surprise, surprise, right? Who else would it be? Thank you all for tuning in once again. We have a fantastic show lined up for everyone today. I am a residential real estate specialist helping families and people alike buy and sell residential homes in the Northern Virginia area. If you are in the Northern Virginia area looking to sell or buy, please feel free to give a shout out. I would be happy to connect with you and help you with the process. If you are not in the area and you would like to be connected with a professional in your area, also please reach out. I am happy to reach out through my national agent referral network, get you a professional in your area to help you through this process. Also, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our channel, who sends in comments, who has liked our channel. If you feel today that today's the day you would like to subscribe, comment, or share, or like, please do so. That will keep us going and let me know that you guys are out there watching. So I really appreciate the support. Today, we are going to be talking about something super critical mostly for sellers, but this also can impact the buyers. We want to talk a little bit about photography. So when you're getting ready to sell your home, obviously you could do photography yourself or you could hire a pro. So what we're going to talk about today is all of the things that a professional listing agent, a professional photographer is going to bring to the table and provide for you if you are selling your home. Now, of course, you can just pick up your phone and take a couple shots. And of course, we see a lot of listings out there that do that, but many, many things you need to be aware of if that's going to be the case. And so today we're going to walk through all of the different tools that are available to sellers when you do hire a professional listing agent and professional photographer to help you through that process. So to help me with my show today, I'm going to pull in Jay Snap. He is the founder and CEO of RE Pro Photos. Hi, Jay. How are you?
Hey, Liz. Doing good. How about you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. So Jay and I have worked together for many years, and he is my professional go-to. And I always tell my listing clients, look, I'm not the one coming in, taking your professional photography. There are so many components to listing a home, and I'm not a professional at every single one of them, but I will outsource to the professionals. So Jay is one of my go-to photographers. And we're going to talk today a little bit about all of the services that we utilize through him and that him and his company offer. And one of the things I just want everyone to be aware of is if you are going to list your home for sale, essentially the day you list your home, okay, your buyers, they may be on their cell phone, right? They're texting someone, they're surfing the net, and they get ping, new listing came up, right? You either get a text, an email, they get an alert. They're instantly on their phone and they're doing this fast. They're going like this, looking through your pictures. And if you don't grab their attention In those 3 to 5 seconds that they give you, if you're lucky, you're done. They've bypassed your house. They're moving on to the next one. So if your photos are dark, if your photos are blurry, if your photo angles are off, if there's nothing exciting about your photos, there's probably nothing exciting about your listing. And that may or may not be true, but on the interface that buyers have to work with, which is typically their phone or computer, 3 to 5 seconds, if you're lucky, 5 seconds, you're done. So that is why, for me, it is extremely important that each and every one of my listing clients gets professional photography. So Jay, tell us a little bit about yourself and your company, and we can start with that.
Sure. I started well, let me start from the beginning of my career.
Beginning. Got it. Perfect.
I started photography at the old age of 7. It was just a hobby at that time, but
Okay.
I had a Kodak 110 camera. So if you are a millennial, I'm not sure if you would know it, but it used to look like just a cell phone, a little bit thicker, but your lenses, everything would be on this side of the camera, and it was probably one of the best things that I could ever have had. And after that, I just got gifts as cameras, and
Okay.
I started professionally in 2011, and it was actually by fluke. And by profession, really, I'm a food, fashion, and fine arts photographer. And I got
great.
introduced into real estate photography by going into events and things like that. And I really found it intriguing to do real estate photography. I love architecture.
Mm-hmm.
So there it goes. And then I started RE Pro Photos about 5 years ago, 2019.
Perfect. So let's jump in a little bit about the actual photography that you do and show some examples here. Oh yeah, and tell us, if you want to tell us where you're located, and that's perfect.
Sure.
Flew by that. Sorry about that.
We're based in Rockville, Maryland, but we service all the way from New Jersey to Florida, New York to Florida. And we are also looking to expand into Georgia very soon, Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And these are some of the services that we offer: photography, social media videos, walkthrough videos, highlight videos, floor plans, 2D and 3D, drone and aerials. Sometimes those are tricky. You can't really do those in certain parts of DC or with VIP movements, such as the president is there or something like that. 3D Matterport, which you guys actually use that quite a bit. There's also another competitor that came into the market. It's called Iguide, and we have that too. We use that too. And we also do virtual staging for those vacant listings that sometimes happen.
Sometimes happen. Okay. I love how you say that. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, if we hire out to professional photographers such as yourself, different things that are going to happen. Like your point here, the sky is always going to be blue. So does it matter if it's raining or if it's a bad day, the sun is behind the clouds? Like sometimes people say, Elizabeth, should we book photos and then wait till the night before to see if we need to move them? Because what if it rains, or what if, X, Y, or Z? So tell us a little bit about the photo magic that happens behind the scenes.
Sure, absolutely. So usually what happens is if it's a cloudy day, it's not a problem. We can make the sky blue. We always do sky replacement, so it's not a problem. If it's raining really heavily, then there's not a whole lot that we can do. We can perhaps maybe take a photo or two, try to manipulate it to make it look the best, but there are certain limitations that anybody or even the most professional will entail. So
Jay, I thought you could actually stop a rainstorm. I thought that was something I saw in your bio earlier. So I'm incorrect in that?
I have tried, but it's very difficult. They charge too much money for it.
I got it. Okay. Perfect. I actually have never run into a case where a listing photo shoot had to be canceled because of a downpour. I've never actually run into that, thankfully. So,
Awesome.
All right.
Well, actually, I remember I did a shoot for you when it was raining pretty heavily, and
Mhm.
then and we can always come back. So if let's say there's a stringent deadline that you have, hey, we have to get on the market, and we have to get on the market. We'll take, let's say, one exterior photo, which is required by the MLS, and
Mhm.
then come back and get the rest of it done, and at another time when the weather's a little bit more favorable.
Yeah, always a workaround.
Yeah, yeah.
So sometimes we're seeing these photos now in the listings, which are really, really
Yes.
nice. The Twilight photos. Look how beautiful that sky looks. I mean, that house would look completely different with a regular camera, just, an old iPhone or whatever, just taking a picture. It would never look like that. So again, you can kind of start to see the difference between a photo you personally may take versus something professional and high end like this.
Yep. So this is actually the magic of about 5 different exposures, and we always do five exposures
Okay.
for pretty much every photo that we take. But it's especially helpful when a property looks really nice. It's has a really high price point, especially, and has really nice landscape lightings.
Mhm.
So it makes sense to do something like this. This is the second image on the left side. That's actually the Grace Mandarin um,
Oh, the
restaurant.
harbor, National Harbor.
Yep, and that's the
Oh, yeah.
Gaylord on the right side.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. So I remember I had a lower priced home, lower, I mean 725 in our area, and we had Twilights done, and it just was dazzling. It was so beautiful. And sometimes, and this is a tip for buyers, sometimes houses look extra beautiful in photos, and that's our job, is to bring out the beauty, right? And when you get to the house, sometimes it doesn't live up to the photos. But also the reverse is true. So sometimes if you can, as a buyer, let's say you do have the crappy photos on a listing, instead of bypassing that house, that may be an opportunity for you to find a house that other people are going to leapfrog over and bypass and disregard because the photos are so bad. So if you're going to list your home, you certainly want to present it in the best light. But as a buyer, please be aware that photos can, one way or the other present extra good or not so good. You really do have to go out and see a house. If it fits your criteria of bedrooms, bathrooms, location, and layout, please go see it, because photos can be deceiving in a good way and deceiving in a bad way, right? I mean,
So here's one
True.
thing that I tell people
Yeah.
is that, like you were saying, it takes 3 to 5 seconds for somebody to get attracted towards a property. Actually, the decision-making power of our brain has become super fast. So we're able to decipher if this is something that we like or we don't like.
Yeah.
So if this is something that we like or don't like, a decision can be made in 3 to 5 seconds. Can you imagine? Like long time ago, it would take about 30 to 45 seconds for a person to like or dislike something. Now that span has shortened. Our attention span hasn't decreased. Our ability to make decisions has become faster. So human brain has actually evolved. And if you are not able to keep up with that timing, then you can easily fail. And if a real estate professional is not choosing a photographer who's able to bring those photos into light according to what you're really looking for, and making sure that that property shines, it's able to grab the attention of pretty much anybody who's looking for a property in that price range, it's going to become really hard to sell a property.
Yep.
No matter how great that property looks.
Yes, I agree. Photos are everything. I mean, just think of taking a picture of yourself. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. You got to make sure you got the right angle, the right lighting, the right this, the right that.
Yeah.
So very, very critical indeed. Okay, let's
and not
move
everybody
on.
is Denzel Washington, you know.
So video has become so critical, especially in my market where so many people are coming in from Hawaii, from Washington, from Europe, and
Yes.
they're not going to be here to see the house. They need more than just photos. They need video. They need interactive things, as like your 3D walkthrough tours. So tell me a little bit about what you all do with the video.
So, how about we start with social media vertical videos? So, just like how it says, it's social media videos. So, about a minute to 90 seconds at the maximum. We really focus on highlighting the spaces that are the most favorable to the property. And of course, usually it's living room, dining room, kitchen, probably primary bedroom and the bathroom, maybe some of the outdoor spaces front and back. And sometimes it's also attractions close by, the amenities of the community, or if there's a gym in the house, or something that's unique, or a bar, nice patio, those type of things. So, and we can edit it to a certain music. We can incorporate agents in there. We had somebody incorporate the homeowner in there. So
I was just going to say, you could put the homeowner in there. You could put a pet in there.
Yeah, actually, they
whatever.
had a really nice pool. So the ending was jumping in the pool. So
Were you the one jumping?
no, I was the one filming. But
Very good. And then you have the walkthrough videos and the luxury highlight videos as well.
Yeah. So kind of the social media videos match up with the highlight videos. It's landscape and it highlights the best portions of the house. And again, sometimes the agents are in there or the homeowners in there. The walkthrough video is literally from the front to back, up and down, every single portion of the house except, let's say, mudroom or the garage, or unfinished basement or utility rooms and things like that are not usually included in the walkthrough video. But like it says, it's a walkthrough, so we kind of walk from one room to the other, and it's at a regular pace. It's not too fast, not too slow. Usually for an average 3,000, 4,000 square foot house, it's usually about 5 minutes long, 45 minutes long.
And so sometimes when I'm out at a house, another agent will come in to do a showing, and they'll have clients out of state, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm just gonna walk through and videotape." Or sometimes this happens at my open houses, and I'll say, "Oh, well, we have the walkthrough video tour online. We have the 3D tour online," and they don't even look. I mean, they're like, I don't know why, but sometimes these tools and resources are available, but buyers may not know it or may not have seen how to access those. So always check with your realtor if you're buying to see if these tools are available for the home you're looking at.
Well, I think the MLS does a really poor job in displaying the additional features or the virtual tours that you have placed in the MLS. So I've literally seen it's a very small icon, and you would know it, I would know it, but a new buyer who has never looked at properties, and let's say you emailed them a listing, you can barely tell what it is. All you see is an image somewhere and then all this text, which is great to have all that information, but I think they need a better display of
well, that is definitely for another show. That's definitely for another show.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So let's move on to slide 3. The floor plans. These are so important. So many times I have buyers call after they go under contract and say, "Can I go back in and measure the bedroom because I need to know if my bed is going to fit. I need to know if I need to get new furniture." And, I'm hoping the listing that they purchased has the floor plans. Of course, our listings always have it, but not all agents do this. So tell us a little bit about this, Jay.
Sure. So I think one of the most important things that anybody can do is have floor plans. You can have photos and just floor plans. I think floor plans really make it important for people to, when they take a look at floor plans, they're like, "Oh, great. They have a sitting area, or I can put, this is 12 foot by 8 foot. Great. I can put 2 beds in there," or, whatever they are really looking for. They can be like, "Hey, you know what? this is really big for us, or this is too small for us, and they can make a decision based on square footage, size, space, and
Hmm.
their desirability for space. So it really helps sell a space, I think.
Yeah, these
And
are
then
really
also,
neat.
and also I think especially it helps when some of the older homes, if they have an addition and the MLS is not updated with the exact square footage, because
Yeah.
sometimes it would say it's 2,000 square feet when they did an addition of another 1,000 square feet top to bottom, and that adds maybe an additional 1,300 square feet to the property. And if the tax record doesn't reflect it, and sometimes I think back in 2020 is when we had the largest demand of floor plans, because
Mm, yeah.
appraisers weren't going into properties, and every single one of them wanted to take a look at, they were literally asking listing photos and floor plans from
Yeah.
every single real estate agent. So I think it definitely helps. And even nowadays, to contest an appraisal, you can be like, hey, look, you ignored the basement, or you ignored this extension, and you can
That's a
have
really
higher
good
price.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I get these floor plans, I can literally look room by room, every single measurement. And so sometimes sellers feel like their tax record square footage is wrong, or it's off, or it's missing something. And then we can go back and just do the math, right? Go room by room and add everything up and literally come up with the square footage. I just went through this with some sellers the other day. They said, there's no way our house is that size. It's bigger. And I said, well, okay, let's look at the floor plans and we'll go room by room, we'll add everything up. And it actually was smaller than they were. It was way smaller than they even thought. So the MLS square footage will automatically populate your tax record square footage, which usually does not consist of the lower floor, or if you have unpermitted work.
Right.
So these are fantastic for that. It just answers everyone's question. They're accurate and they're right there in black and white for you to see. Or blue
Yeah,
and
they're
black.
usually about 99% accuracy.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
They're very, very good and a very useful tool. So another thing that we'll chat about a little bit is the drone aerial photography.
Correct.
Now, of course, there are some restricted areas in the DC area. Jay, if you want to talk a little bit about that and where you do more of your drone work.
Sure. Most of the drone work is done in the outskirts of past Herndon and Reston. That's where in Northern Virginia it ends. So if you want to take some parts of Burke, then if you go further south, there's Occoquan. After that, you can fly. You can fly some parts of Woodbridge, but there's also the Marine base over there, the Occoquan, the FBI training center. So most of the time you can fly, and we can even fly in DC, but we have to get a waiver, and sometimes that can take up to 2 months.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Yeah,
We have gotten it done in 2 weeks, but
that's a long time.
it can take 2 months depending on VIP movement. And VIP in the sense, we have a lot of senators, we have a lot of ambassadors and heads of state that come in, go out, or even live in their area, especially in McLean, Vienna, those areas, Potomac. So sometimes flight is not possible at all, or they'll vet the person like 10 times. They'll make sure the VIP movements are what they think that they are, and they'll have to get cleared with Secret Service, TSA, FBI, way too many 3-letter
all of them.
organizations. So
That's a very interesting point. So if you are in one of those locations, you're going to have to plan your listing maybe further out than than other people who can just don't need a waiver, or you just can't even do it. I mean, a lot of areas that I work in, we just can't even do it. But all
we
of
can
these
do elevated, by the way. We can do elevated photos. Sorry to interrupt you in the middle.
No, it's okay.
We can do elevated photos, which is on a pole rather than actually flying a drone.
Okay.
So it's limited, but it still gets you a great view of certain spaces that you need to.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Anything else you want to touch on with the drone photography?
No, I think it captures really well, especially if you look at this image. It's a golf course at Lake Presidential in Upper Marlboro, actually. And it was not the best time. It had rained just right before. And by the way, this is with sky replacement, so the sky was gray.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Looking good.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to one of my favorite, the 3D Matterport tours.
Yep.
These 100% have sold houses for me, 100% for people looking remotely. So Jay, if you want to talk a little bit about this, and I think we have a live video we can show of one of our current listings.
Sure. I think this is one of the best tools that you can ever have. We also have something called Iguide, which is similar to this, but Matterport is an amazing tool, especially there's a tool called Measure in here. If you actually look at, there's a little ruler at the bottom left, and you can actually measure stuff. So if, let's say, you want to measure a room somewhere, or you're like, hey, is my couch going to fit in there or not? So you can literally go from point A to point B and just measure.
Yeah, it's really neat.
And say, oh, great, I can fit 2 of my couches here or something. So it's something that's really helpful for people, and they really like it. And I kind of like it too, because sometimes people would have, other agents, they'll question that, hey, I don't think it's that big, and they're far away, and agents would whip out a 3D scan and just say, okay, here, we'll measure it right now.
Yeah. It's also neat because in the bottom left corner, you can go from the top floor, you can bounce all the way down to the basement, you can do the dollhouse view, which takes me back to when I was a child, my little dollhouse plan. But it's really neat. I just had a really sweet couple purchase a home from me. The newlyweds, the husband was in Germany and the wife was in Afghanistan, and everything they did was remote, and the house they were interested in had a 3D tour. And the wife said to me, she said, Elizabeth, we've walked the house every single day since we went under contract. We're so excited. We visit it every day. We go through the 3D tour, because they weren't going to be able to see it for a few months.
Sure.
So it really, I don't know, connects the buyer with the house when, distance is an issue. So really lots of different ways these are used. But again, if you're listing a home for sale and you just have a couple pictures from your phone, and your neighbor next door is listing their home and they have tool after tool after tool after tool after tool online, chances of your neighbor getting a much higher price point and a lot more buyer views on their home go up significantly. There's no question.
Absolutely.
So it's very important who you hire to help you through all of this stuff, to get these tools available to you as a seller, and to have someone on the back end like Jay creating the content that's professional and high end and well lit and the right angles and all that good stuff. There were a couple photos online I saw the other day of a listing, and it was, I don't know what it was trying to do. It was, they were photographing the kitchen, and I couldn't even see the kitchen. They were so zoomed in on like one cabinet or like the faucet or a light fixture. And I'm thinking, I don't want to see I want to see the house, not, every little fixture. So very bizarre angles. Sometimes you see all kinds of stuff in these videos and in these pictures at times. So please be professional, be aware that the decisions you make on the front end are going to potentially cost you $10,000 on the back end or garnish you another $10,000. Don't cut corners when you're trying to sell your house. Use these marketing tools that are available. Okay. Absolutely. So the premium Iguide, how is this different from the Matterport?
So there's no dollhouse view.
Okay.
That's the only thing. And it's more floor plan based rather than the dollhouse view based.
Okay. I like the dollhouse. That's my vote.
One thing is one of the most amazing features I think I like about the iGuide is, for example, let's say there's a car in the garage, and with the Matterport, you literally have to scan the space, have the door opened, and then you can scan it, or just have a 360 and not have true measurements. But with
Okay.
this, you can have a door closed, measure the space, and completely exclude it from the scan, and still have accurate measurements.
Nice. Magic. It's magic.
Yeah,
I love that.
absolutely.
We just listed a home recently with a car in the garage. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. And then virtual staging is just amazing. I love virtual staging. So tell us a little bit about the services you provide for this, Jay.
Sure. So every home is unique. Every space is different, and the size is different. So we kind of make sure that the size of the place, the furniture that goes in, it matches well with the space, and it also matches with the house. Sometimes we get homes which are very eclectic. They're older, so but they have certain areas that are updated and certain areas that are not, and we make sure that everything looks good and is done well.
So virtual staging, just to back up for those of you who may not be aware, this is where you can take a vacant home and it looks like there's furniture in it, but there is not. So what's nice about this is when the buyers are picking up that phone and scanning through your photos at lightning speed, they're seeing exciting, beautiful photos of rooms that they would want to visit and be in. And then when they get to the house, they actually see the house for what it is. And they can envision what it could look like, but they actually are seeing it for what it does look like. So it
Yep.
gives them the best of both worlds. There's also no, moving of furniture in or out if you're going to do a full stage, which, it's just a different way to go about it. Sometimes people say, hey, I just emptied my house out. I don't want people now moving furniture in for a few weeks and then moving it back out. I don't want to risk the walls getting beat up or, something happening, someone falling on the steps. There's all different reasons for all of these tools. So it just depends what you want to do. Now, Jay, can you take a photo? Now, see this picture? Sorry, go back. This photo here, that table and chair was virtually staged in.
Yep. It wasn't there.
Yeah. So you can see and same with all of that furniture is virtual staging, but it creates a totally different feel and energy through that picture than when you look at it vacant.
Yep.
See, there it is
Absolutely.
vacant, and then show the virtual. Awesome. Look at the curtains and everything. It's incredible. It also gives people ideas as to, hey, what furniture would I possibly want to buy for this room? Or how can I set it up?
We actually had
Really neat.
an agent ask us, where did you get the furniture from?
Yeah.
And I said, it's digital. I can sell it to you.
Yeah. I mean,
It would be an
look at
element.
the transformation in that photo,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
Totally
Absolutely.
different.
One
Different. One of my favorite things.
One of the most amazing things is when there are homes that are not so appealing
Mm-hmm.
and furniture is put in, especially this nice of a furniture, it just changes the whole dynamic feel and
Totally.
the vibe of the room or the whole house. So when people look at it, they're like, wow, this is a really nice space. And they would want to come out and take a look at it.
Also, can you erase something? Let's say someone has furniture in the room. Can
Yes.
you? Okay. So sometimes what I see a lot is people have furniture that is way too big for the room, proportionately, just for purposes of marketing. It's going to make the room look squished and tight and cramped. So, Jay, you can go in and actually virtually delete something
Remove it.
that's there, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's helpful as well. I'm not saying anything's wrong the way people live or the furniture they have, but when we're going to market a home, there's better ways for a home to be presented than others. So
Absolutely.
all kinds of magic these days that we can sprinkle over your home and make the photos look beautiful and perfect. Because remember, when you're selling, the number one thing that drives price is competition. The number one thing that's going to drive competition is excitement and getting people in the door. And that all goes right straight back to your marketing, your photography, your 3D tour, your walkthrough, your virtual staging, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Cool. Very exciting stuff. So what's your favorite tool, Jay?
I love the drone.
Yeah, okay, the drones. Okay,
Yeah, when I first
very
started flying
good.
the drones, I just fell in love with it. I love it. Whenever I get a
Nice.
chance, I'll fly it. So.
Very good. Very good. Was there anything else you want to add? Because I think those are kind of all the tools I wanted to go over today for anyone looking to list their home. And, you guys can always feel free to reach out to me or reach out directly to Jay with additional questions, or if you'd like to hire him for listing your home at RE Pro Photos.
Thank you, Liz. I think one of the most important things that I can say is that this is one of your biggest investment of your life. You're spending so much money, time, effort, and pretty much it's like a jeopardy. For if you're hiring a professional, make sure that you hire the right one, and the one who is a true professional is a person who has a team who understands the value of being professional and hires professionals who, if they're not an expert in a certain field, then they hire the professional who is an expert and builds on their credibility to make sure that they're able to sell what they're selling. So especially for a home, which is probably the biggest investment of your life, I would go with a professional who trusts other professionals to do the right job for them.
Well said. Well said.
My pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much, Jay, for your time today to be on the show and for going over all of these amazing strategies and tools that you have for people looking to sell their home. So
it's a pleasure.
When you're ready to sell your home, you know the tune. Bring it on, director. Bring it on. Bring it on. Live show. Anyway, that's it for today. We're going to go right into the jingle.
When you're ready to sell your home.